Hello everybody, today in this video I'll be giving my review of Stormrunner located at Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania. But before I get into it, I actually want to shout out two channels. The first channel is actually on its way to 100 subscribers, and as the last time I looked they are 8 away, and that channel is Zero G Coasters. He makes coaster content just like me, and he does a really good job at it, so make sure to go check him out. And the second channel I want to shout out is Cutback Thrills. He's been stuck at 32 subscribers for a long time, guys. So if you can go show him some love, he, again, does coaster content just like me. But he is updating his channel. What you see now might not be what you see in the future. But with that out of the way, let's just get right into the review. Stormrunner has a height of 150 feet, a drop of 180 feet, a max speed of 75 miles an hour, a max vertical angle of 90 degrees, 3 inversions, and a total track length of 2,600 feet. First, pulling out of the station, you'll notice it is a dual loading station, so the capacity is better. I have noticed that the operations are still kind of bad, but it's better than if it was a single station. When you're coming out on the launch track, you'll stop and then you'll roll back. Once you do, you'll notice the brake fronts drop. And then you hear the voice. And once you hear, now get ready, here we go, you launch from 0 to 72 miles an hour in 2 seconds. And this launch is really intense, guys. This is the most intense launch I've ever been on, and that being 2 launches, one Mr. Freeze and this one. And compared to an LIM launch, hydraulics, by far the better choice. You feel the launch in your stomach. It is actually insane. And in the front, you feel the wind. And I think that's where the launch is best felt at, is in the front row. But in the other rows, I did actually ride in the front, middle, and back, so I have a really good feel for this ride. In the other rows, you do still feel the launch really well. It's just in the front row, you get the wind in your face, and it feels great. So, once you exit the launch, you'll go into a top hat, 150 feet tall to be exact, and this is the tallest point of the ride. In the front, you get good pop of airtime coming into it, and in the back, you get a good pop of airtime coming out of it. And in the middle, you get mild floater. Coming down the drop, that is your max vertical angle of 90 degrees. And it is straight down. And I will say, the drop does feel shorter when you're on the ride than it does off the ride. Like, off the ride, it looks huge. The drop is so tall. But on the ride, it's like a 2-second drop. Like, it's not that much. Now, on the valley of this drop, this is the part of the ride that will staple you. And yes, I get stapled every single time. This has the same fate as Skyrush, as the lap bars push down due to the high positive G's. But it's not as bad as Skyrush, because you see with Skyrush, it's on your thighs, so it actually hurts. But with this, it's on your waist, so it's not that bad. And plus, it's an over-the-shoulder restraint, so you could say it's more comfortable. But coming out of this valley, you go into a Cobra loop. This is actually the most forgettable part of the ride, but it is still fun. And again, at the valley, between the Flying Snake Dive and this, you get stapled even more. Now, this is the part where you pop into the Flying Snake Dive. And once you transition into it, you get good airtime in the front row. And the Flying Snake Dive is probably the second best part of the ride for me. You get really good hang time, and it's really good whip. This is best experience in the back row because the whip on the downward spiral is insane. But the front is good too. Coming out of the Flying Snake Dive, you go into this weird twisty section. It kind of just twists you 90 degrees and back. It's kind of like the rapid fire transitions on I-305. And then you slam into the brake run. And that completes your ride on Stormrunner. Now, yes, this is a very, very short ride. So short, in fact, that I remember the first thing thinking as soon as I got off of it was, that was short. Now, granted, it is definitely longer than the other hydraulic coasters, like Top Throw, Dragster, and King Ka, because, it's just the top hat, and you're done. At least this one has a more unique original layout. So let's talk about the restraints. So the restraints are the Intamin over-the-shoulder soft strap restraint. So if you know me, I actually kind of like these. Of course, I don't like the big bar that's there, but the actual straps themselves are pretty nice. And I think for this ride, it definitely needs it. And I'm only saying that because of the Flying Snake Dive and the twisty section at the end. You definitely need to brace for those, especially if you're in the back row, because you get pulled through them. Now, most people don't like the color scheme of this ride. Red track, white supports, and yellow trains. But I actually like them. I think the colors fit well together, and it looks like a great ride. Now, like I said earlier, off the ride, this ride is much taller, looks a lot faster than it actually is. Except for the launch, you still feel the launch. But when you're on the ride, I don't know what it is. Everything just seems so shorter. Everything just feels slower. And I don't get it. It is kind of a weird feeling, which goes back to my overcoming my fears of roller coaster video. It's different on the ride than it is off the ride, if you know what I mean. So that concludes my review of Storm Runner at Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania. What are your thoughts on this ride? Do you like the launch? What's your favorite part of the ride? Where does it rank in your overall rankings? Tell me down in the comments below. And if you enjoy what I post, consider subscribing. And if you like the video, like it. And with that out of the way, I'll see you all later. Bye.